There we go. Um, Welcome. Good morning. It's morning here anyway. Um, uh, Thought I'd test out another another live stream rather, and I just had a few things I might touch on and everything. Not anything real. Um, yeah. I mean, there's so much news. Everything's pressing, and so much going on in the country. So, but yeah, last week we talked about, or yeah, I think it was last week, we talked about Kid Rock and RFK. Briefly talked about Rosenhan experiment and stuff. Today, if you've seen the title, it's Release the Aliens. No, not those aliens. Uh, Referring to, the illegal aliens that we're holding captive, um, and sending to torture prisons. That's always awesome. As the liberals pretend it isn't happening, and the Republicans brag about it. But yeah, Trump's released some UFO information, or is looking to deflect away from the Epstein files, which is you know um, a fairly decent tactic, it seems, because he is attracting all of the centrists with this sort of thing. I mean, I don't. I've never cared that much about aliens to that. Like, I don't know. When I was a kid, maybe, but seems like maybe that's what the appeal is all of these people that are stuck in kid-like states or something, wanting to know more about um, UFOs rather than any sort of thing that actually matters right now, like the release of files that um sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once here too. I'm having some horrible uh luck with Facebook lately, and I might have to create a new profile and stuff. It's another thing, is like, dude, the Facebook algorithms and the AI horse shit they've tied into it, and dealing with all of the just automatic moderations or whatever that's going on with Facebook now. I seriously, I got banned the other day for, or I'm having restrictions put on my account now for saying that crystal meth was, if crystal meth had a brother, it would be Kid Rock. Apparently, that was promoting drug use, which, I don't want anybody to be like Kid Rock or do crystal meth, so that was not the intent. And there's no way of actually, like, contesting that stuff properly, because Facebook gives you this fucking, like, copy paste slap bullshit to try to enter in what you think is wrong with their decision making or whatever. And it's like, the I don't have an issue with them taking down my content. I don't give a fuck. Okay, you say that's against the community standards, whatever. That's here nor there. My issue is that I have had so many restrictions and shit put on me by that, by just them doing this shit. One of them I had, they've been bullshit almost every time. Like, one of them will say nudity or something, the person was fully clothed, and it was a meme or something that was, and usually the only factor in there that I see that connects all of them is that it's either atheist content or something that's going against the Christian religion, or something along those lines. But that's been like the majority of my little bans or whatever punishments on Facebook, my restrictions and stuff have been from stuff like that. So whenever you go to try to appeal those decisions, there's no option for I don't care, take the content down, but I don't think these restrictions are appropriate. There was something, there used to be an option for like thinking that the rules were too stringent or something like that. Now I don't even see that as an option. um, and I don't, like I said, I don't care. Like if they think it's too offensive or whatever, okay, take it down. But don't start slapping dumb shit on there. Like one of them was trying to say it was pedophilia or something, and one of the memes was a rabbi biting. It wasn't even showing that, depicting that part, I don't think, but it was like where they bite the foreskins off and stuff, and it was saying something about that. It was some meme, and dude, that was from years ago. Years and years ago that I had posted, reposted that. Um, and it got taken down. I got all kinds of restrictions put on my fucking account, and they started, it said that it was like child pornography. I fucking appealed that as far as I could, and they never did take the restrictions off my account. And now this next one that I put up about crystal meth, this is promoting drug use or whatever. So now I've got restrictions on it from that, and I can't even like live stream on Facebook anymore. Which I guess I had that option for a minute, but now it's like restricting me from that. So I don't know if I need to create a new profile at this point, or if they're making it to where that's impossible. I have no idea. It's dumb. I'm about over, like I say that all the time, about over Facebook. I am over Facebook. I've been over Facebook for a long time. I think a lot of people have, but it's just like, what other good options are there? And I haven't seen any lately. If anybody knows of any, feel free to toss that out to me. I'm testing out the live chat overlay this time around. Last time it kind of probably looks like I'm just, because I don't think the live chat shows up after the broadcast is over. So I'm still testing things out with live streaming on OBS and stuff. I don't think that it shows up afterwards, so it probably looks like I'm just answering or talking to air. So maybe this will look a little bit better if this works. So I've got it up. It's, whoa, we got things turned the other way. That way, I can't. I've got things so many different ways. That way, no. Okay. Anyway, over the other side of the screen, that way. There we go. It's like looking in a mirror and trying to, yeah. Hope everyone's had a good week. I guess this is Monday, beginning of a new week. Hope everybody has a good week this week. On Monday. If anybody wants to jump in and test out our things on Discord as well, like you could just tell me in the chat or whatever, and maybe I can hook you up with a link to get into our Discord thing, and you can join me on here for the live stream. I've also got my Cash App at the top of the screen. If you'd like to endorse this nonsense I have going on. But yeah, getting to the Trump thing, I guess he's released the UFO, or he's looking at trying, I don't even know if he's able to do that on his own. He's probably just saying that he's going to, like he has everything else. He's also in trouble for tariffs, I guess. That was illegal. Oops. And now he's threatening more. But everything he's done so far, that, like, didn't they already kind of say he was doing illegal shit when they impeached him twice? So now maybe we'll have a third impeachment that'll do nothing as well. Meanwhile though, like the king turned in his brother for shit in England involving the Epstein bullshit. So that's good. Accountability is being held in some country in the world. Just a shame it isn't here, huh? I don't know if anybody else likes to cook out there, but I've I always enjoyed cooking, and um, I know this is random, right? Give me a minute. Uh, so I've started. I haven't been able to do a lot getting out of the house and stuff. Winter months, shitty Appalachian weather, uh, and financial issues. Cars not in great shape to be going out all the time. Don't always have money for gas. All of those things going on right now with struggling with disabilities and all of those things. So I've been kind of fixating on some cooking and gaming and trying to do this stuff again. And the cooking thing I really enjoy, and I've just sometimes I'll go down these deep dive rabbit holes of things, and I started looking into like chili powder. And chili powder as it turns out, is not just chili peppers that's ground up or whatever. There's which that was my big. I was wondering, like, how do you so chili powder, but then there's paprika, and that's peppers too that are dried and ground down. So what's the big difference here with all of that? And went down big rabbit holes of all of that shit. As it turns out, chili powder doesn't have just chili peppers in it, which it does, but it has like cumin and salt and garlic powder and onion powder, I think, and it's mixed in, and it's it's dried out. They're dried out, ground down, mixed together, and you have like the standard chili powder then that you get at the store. Um, well, as it turns out, you look into that, and you can find various chili powders, right? You can see there's like chipotle chili powder, and there's ancho chili powder and stuff. So I kind of started looking into this stuff more and went down a deep dive on it. And chili peppers are not just used in making chili, but they're made in they're put in tons of different cuisines around the world, including Asian cuisine. And so I've been messing around with different dried chili peppers, and there's, as it turns out, there's like 4,000 different types of chili peppers. I didn't realize this. I knew there was chili peppers. I knew there were. Um, I didn't realize how many different types of peppers fit under the chili category either. So, like, I knew they existed, but I knew just the standard name of chili pepper, which is very vague, as it turns out. There's arbol chili peppers, there's like ancho chili peppers, there's chipotle, there's tons of different, there's a big variety, like I said, 4,000 different types. So I found more of like some of the common ones, and I've started kind of charting out the flavor profiles and stuff, and mixing them together how I see fit, and experimenting with it with curries and um, I guess like chili seasoning and taco seasoning and things like that. And so I came across these things that are called, and I might be pronouncing it wrong, but I think it's Sichuan peppercorns, which aren't real peppers or peppercorns, as it turns out. It's off of a specific plant in Asia, and an ash plant, and they give this sensation of, I guess, like vibration on your mouth, or like a numbing sensation. And this goes along and is paired with the heat from chili peppers. And this is done in like India, I believe, and like China, and in different various dishes. And I guess this is kind of a popular thing over there, is to pair this sensation from this plant with the heat from the others. Because I'd first started looking into this, and I saw that it was being paired with things, and I just assumed it was like a heat thing along with that sensation, and it's not. Whenever I went to look up what Scoville units it was, they didn't have any because it isn't a heat kind of thing like that. It's actually got like, it's wild. There's green and there's red ones, and the green ones have like this citrusy flavors and licorice kind of flavor, and then they have that weird sensation. It's got more of the sensation with the green ones than the red ones. So I started grinding this stuff up and into a powder, the peppercorn things, and I tested it out, and it was crazy. Like, you kind of get these weird, like, licorice flavors that hit you real strong at first, citrusy hints, and all of these different flavors that are in this thing to begin with. And then the weird sensation hits, like, your tongue. And it's like this, like I said, it's a numbing, vibrating sensation and buzzing sensation, I guess. It's described as too. Pretty cool. It had opened my mind to a lot of this, like, depths of things with food that I didn't understand kind of before. I kind of did, but I didn't. I knew it was there. I didn't realize it was its own thing. Like, I didn't realize that food could be three-dimensional in that sense. I looked at things as more of a taste and texture kind of thing rather than adding in the sensation part of it. So that opened my mind a lot, or didn't, like it made me think, like, how we do this with everything, you know? Like, it was kind of a light bulb moment. Like, it's nothing I didn't already know, but it was just kind of like tied things together in my head a little bit. Like, things are as simple or as complex as what we want to make them. Like, and I've read in studies and stuff too, where personal experiences might actually be necessary for a person to learn, or the person at least needs it to be personal to them for them to learn a thing. So, like, I I thought that was crazy because, like, just like this chili pepper thing. Like, I had no idea there was 4,000 different types of chili peppers, and still until I started looking into it. You've got the simple part of, like, that I accepted my whole life, that there's peppers, that peppers exist, there's chili peppers and all of that. But I didn't, there wasn't the complexity part of it of, oh, well, there's 4,000 different types of chili peppers. What kind of chili pepper am I talking about when I say chili pepper? That part never hit me, you know? I didn't know any of that. I didn't care to know it. There wasn't anything there that was leading me to look for that information or anything. Until I started questioning the things more, right? Until I started wanting to cook with these things and learn more about this stuff. Because I wanted to make this stuff myself. And I was thinking about that, like, it seems like that's kind of like the issue that we've had with, I don't even want to say politics because that's too cheap of a word to use for it. I'm gonna say ethics instead. That's kind of the way we've shaped our ethics in this country, or the way that, and I don't know. It's whiteness. It's uh, sorry, my brain's kind of. I'm trying to round up the squirrels. Um, it's whiteness, it's colonialism, it's that there's a mixture of bigotry and things that contribute to um, the simplicity and stuff as well. But I thought, like, I'd thought about that pretty deeply, I guess. That isn't that strange, that that we do that. And whenever I was a Christian and I was really deep in Christianity, I valued simple things more. I valued simplicity um, more than complexity. Complexity. Um, and it was like there was simple answers for everything. What? How did all of this stuff come about around us? Oh, well, God made it. Oh, okay. And that's it, right? There wasn't, oh, well, how did he make it? Oh, well, how does that work? Well, when have we seen that ever happen? Are we sure that this is what happened? Why would we believe this? What, like the logic and reasoning and all of those things just get completely passed by, and you're just relying on this faith thing. And faith likes things simple. Like there's no depth to things with Christianity. There's just base level bullshit and then excuses backing it up. And so that it really got me thinking about that. You know, it was there. What here I am as I start to get older and I'm moving out of my 30s and I'll be going into my 40s before in a few years, and um, I think I value complexity more now than I did early on. And like I said, I think that's part of the Christianity thing. But I've also seen people as they get older value do just the opposite, where they value simplicity more than complexity. And I suppose it depends on how you look at it. Like I enjoy simplicity in life in certain ways, as far as like simplicity in maybe the way that we live and everything. Um, Simpler is kind of better in that regard in a lot of things. Don't need huge, lavish things to live. Um, which whatever. But on the other end of that, with what I'm talking about, simplicity and complex things, I'm thinking of more of along the lines of critical thinking and that kind of ideology. So you've got people that are brainwashed into Christianity, into fascist arguments and things, and that's another thing, is that fascism loves simplicity. The simpler the explanation, the better, and then you can just tack on a bunch of excuses and deflect. Whenever all else fails, release the UFO documents. Um, you know, it's it happens all the time, and it's happened throughout history for hundreds of years. Um, but I'm curious, like, what makes people cling to simpler answers for things rather than asking more complex questions and trying to figure out reasoning and rationality? Because it's astounding. There are people from all walks of life, Christians, non-Christians, um, Muslims, and non all religions, not just the Abrahamic ones. It's all over. There's some people that just seem to cling towards simple things, and others that don't, that want more complex answers and things to make sense. Uh, like I said, I just wonder what it is that drives people in one direction or the other with that. And I see religion as a factor in it. I see fascist propaganda that's a factor. Um, Possibly society, the location that you're growing up or living in, and the society in those specific areas. Uh, I guess a lot of things would factor into it. It's just I would think that people would want more answers, better answers, more defined answers than what they settle for. Because it, it's it's just that they're settling for simple answers, and there are things like gender. We get a basic definition of those things in school in this country. All the way until high school, we get a basic understanding of those things taught to us. When you get outside of that, a lot of people don't ever go past that high school definition of gender or biological sex. They don't go beyond chromosomes, they don't go beyond any of those things, and they don't have the understanding of culture and stereotypes and everything that goes along with it. In their minds, there are two genders, there's two sexes, and the other things are negligible things that we don't need to talk about or understand. And this is, like I said, things are as simple or as complex as what you want to make them. Problem is, we have all of these people who have decided to make things very simple in their minds, and they're trying to rule over all of the people that are defined by those complexities that they've just glossed over and decided don't exist because they never learned it. And the reason they didn't ever learn it was because they didn't go to college to learn those things. Um, the people that have a deeper understanding of those things. And like I said, this is just like the chili pepper thing. Why would you need to know 4,000 different types of chili peppers? So, like, even if you don't know those things, why would you talk about those things as if you do when you have a base level of understanding? Why wouldn't you just look up, huh, wonder what chili peppers there are? What constitutes a chili pepper? Is that a wider vague description of something, or is that a specific type of pepper? You know, gender, boy, girl, man, woman, are those things the only things that define gender, or are there more genders than that? What have we discovered? What are the studies say? What are the people that have made this their lifelong job? What do they have to say about the subject? Because all it takes is just doing a very base level search into those things, and you realize that there are way more genders than just two, that there's more sexes than just two. And then you get into things with chromosomes and shit whenever people start bringing that up, and then you realize there's multiple variations of chromosomes that don't match gender, that might not match the biological sex that is what society would think it would match. And then we don't do regular chromosome testing or anything. So how many of these cases are going by and they don't ever they don't even know about them? Because, okay, if you want to say that it's a fraction of the country or whatever that's intersex, what do we have to back that with other than what people have come out and said they are, that they've personally identified as? Because not everybody's getting, we don't test chromosomes of everybody as soon as they're born or anything. So we don't know. And even if we did, there are women with female reproductive parts that have XY chromosomes. There are men with men reproductive parts that have XX chromosomes. Um, it doesn't always match the way that society wants it to at that rudimentary, simple level of understanding of biology and gender and society and societal norms and um, all of that because it's social studies as well as um, biology and everything that we're talking about when we talk about these things combined and everything in this way. So it made me think about all of that. That here people are just completely ignoring the third dimension to um, gender, sex, of biology, and all. They're just completely ignoring the thing that they've never researched in their life, that they've never cared to question or understand, and they just dismiss it as nonsense or whatever. And um, there are groups all over that do this stuff, and it's not one specific. Other than like Christians, the majority of Christians in this country that I've seen, they buy into the stuff. I think people that have had this like faith epistemology inserted into, brainwashed into them at a young age. I think that's where a lot of it comes from too. But I think those groups of people, like you're going to see a higher number of them cling towards this simple ideology and understanding of things. So I don't see anybody that's come up yet, but in live chat, a little bit of a quiet morning. That's fine. I thought, just bear with me a minute. I'm gonna try to look up and see if I can bring it up. Um, I've got it in the description. The Chrisagis brothers, which is a local couple of people, or used to be a couple of people. They're twins. And they are... Here we go. Chrisagis Brothers Productions. Oh, I wish there was an easier way of doing this without having to share like all of my other tabs and stuff. There's nothing there that, but it just bugs me. Let me see. Let me see what comes up if I do that. All right, here we go. And chat overlay, I'll just kind of... Nobody's in the chat right now anyway. I'll bring this up. Okay, so these are the people, or this is the person at this moment that I'm talking about. There's only one of them left. What's their... I can't remember their name. Brian is the one that's left. The other brother passed away, and, you know, that's a shame when anybody goes through death and all of that. But that's here nor there. I've seen them around here locally the past few years. They had quite a following for a little local group, couple of people. 7.4 thousand followers. That's not bad. I mean, it's not hundreds of thousands or anything, but it's, it's more than what I have of followers. And the Christian groups tend to be a little bit more avid in their involvement in things because of that Christian mindset of clinging to everything that backs up what you believe rather than that faith-based thinking and everything. Um, but I have been not really purposely trying to troll this guy, but his stupid shit just keeps coming up in my Facebook feed because of like I think Facebook just like I think the algorithms and things pick up on the fact that I post a bunch of stuff that's has to do with religion, but isn't necessarily just like I'm not posting that stuff because I'm religious, so it doesn't understand the difference between those things. So I get shit like this that'll come up. Um, and this is local, so I'm assuming that it's probably coming up because it's seeing that it's near me and it's thinking that I want to know about the Chrisagis brother ministries and all of that shit because of that. I don't. It's wrong. AI sucks. This is stupid. But like, my comment on this was obviously just fucking I, dude, this guy posts these AI images, and this is another thing that's been happening on Facebook that just drives me goddamn nuts is all of this stupid AI nonsense that I'm seeing all these Facebook reels that are just like fucking I don't know, inanimate objects fucking turning into puppies or fucking marbles or rocks that come open and turn into fucking perfectly cut gems that just fall apart and like all of these stupid fucking things. And it's like, man, I know I got people that are like really against AI stuff, and I get it. Like I get it. I I hate that people like this idiot just constantly use AI for photos of dumb shit to just fucking plaster all over his unimaginative fucking horseshit fucking pages that there is water being drained out of fucking uh you know places that need water, that have drought issues to begin with, just so that this fucking moron can post a picture of his feathered hair fucking aqua net held together bullshit appearance. Like he's already fake enough as it is. It looks like he's had fucking if he, I don't know if he's had Botox. I don't know if they both had very feminine featured uh like they wear makeup and stuff all the time. I ran into this guy and one of these guys, maybe both of them, I can't remember. They're working at a local place, a bakery here, and I had ran into them in there. I get I don't know if it was just temporary work and they were helping out a Christian friend or whatever in the area that owned the place, or what the deal was, but I'd originally ran into them in there. And he, as it happens, as it so happens, um this was earlier on before I had come out as non-binary and all of that, but um, and all of this facial hair I hate having on me. If I had the choice of not having any, I would have none. But I have very sensitive skin. I don't have enough money for what it would take to get all of this off and keep it off without just having my face broken completely the fuck out from shaving too often or waxing too often or even doing the laser thing too often. All of it, everything out there that's affordable, I've tried and it does not work. Um, so anyway, this would be shaven off. I would wear makeup more often. Um, and depression and everything that I'm going through, that takes its toll with all of this as well. But to give you an idea, I had just been at a satanic ritual, I think, the night before, out of town, and I'd come back in town. It was late, and I had went to sleep and half scrubbed the makeup off, and I still had like eyeliner and shit under, all over, and um, I think all I had left on was eyeliner at that point. And I come into this place, and here they are. They wear makeup all the time because they're these stupid fucking Christian singers that are all tied up in the Grand Ole Opry bullshit and stuff that I had watched as a kid growing up and that my church was deeply into at the time. It's the same crowds, it's the same shit that I fucking grew up in. So here's this guy, and I'm getting fucking baked goods from this place for work before I go into work, and I think I was working like afternoon shifts at the time, and I'm just getting like some. They had good baked goods and stuff, and I didn't even know that this place was like run by Christians or anything. It never occurs to me whenever I walk into a business, unlike these Christians that want their businesses they shop at to be Christian too, and they want the nation to be Christian, and they want all this stuff to be just little duplicates of themselves. I don't care that much. I just wish that, like, if they're gonna, I just wish they wouldn't do harmful shit to other people around them just because they don't operate the same as them or don't have the same beliefs as them. That's where my disdain goes with things like that. But not because of the religion itself or them being that religion and the business being a part of that. That isn't, it's the harm being done by them. Which I'm sure they would argue some harm there too, but it would be something irrelevant that has to do with their faith-based belief system and all of that. This dude, getting back to it, I come in, I order like some muffins that are stuffed with filling and or maybe they weren't maybe they were what's the other thing? Cupcakes. No, well, I think they had both. I think I got both. And then I was over at the counter where the actual bakery stuff is too. Like they got several counters in this place. One of them has more cakes and stuff like that over there, and it was like I went over to that one, and I'm talking to this guy across this big, like case, like glass case thing of strawberry cream puff things and all of this good looking baked goods and all of that. And I get social anxiety anyway. A lot of times it's weird. I can dress up and do things and go out at pride fests and I don't know. I work up a certain amount of fuck it in me to go and do these certain things every now and then, but for the most part, I've got this real debilitating bunch of anxiety that keeps me from wanting to interact too much out in public. Like I get into a store, I want to get in and get out. Typically, I don't want to hang around. I don't want to browse things. I don't care. I just want to get the fuck in and get the fuck out. Especially like grocery shopping and stuff. That's what I'm wanting to do when I'm in this place. Like, I want to look through the stuff. They got a lot of stuff. I want to hurry. I want to quickly browse through things, pick some stuff out, get the fuck out of there. And, this is right before work. So that's where my mind is completely. This guy, he looks at me and he just keeps staring at me, and I'm like just trying to browse through the shit, and I'm like glancing up at him. Know what you want? Yeah, and I tell him. Starts getting the stuff for me and everything, and he's like, "Oh, your eyes." And he's got like this kind of broken English accent. I think he might have been like, I think they might have been maybe Greek or something. Um, and so he's like, your eyes, they're I'm not gonna do a fucking Greek accent. I'm not gonna fucking do that. I'm not gonna do any accents. No. Um, but he's saying my eyes, they're what do you are you a singer or and I'm like and laughing to myself because I'm like, I did know who this guy was. I didn't expect him to be in this bakery. I didn't know he was tied to this bakery. I've seen his face plastered all over billboards and stuff in the area every time that some has been Christian comes into here, like that fucking guy from Chips from the fucking 80s or whenever that was. 90s maybe. Um, Maybe it was earlier in all of that. Maybe it was the 70s. Chips was around a long time. I remember reruns being on when I was a kid. Um, but I can't. Estrada, Eric Estrada, I think that's his name. This is the craziest shit. Like, just these old has-beens keep going around like a tired out fucking Christian version of a popcorn or something. They just keep touring around the country. And like Eric Estrada, I don't think maybe he sings. I don't know. But I know it's always this random ass group of fucking idiotic. No, because like there's Kevin Sorbo. I don't think he sings. Like it's just a group of random Christians that goes around the country fucking on tour for whatever reason to sign autographs and shit. He goes with them, I think, sometimes. Um, I'll be right back. I'm still waiting on people to show up, but I'll continue on this Chrisagis fucking rant whenever I get back and tell you more about this shit about the eyeliner incident. But I'll be right back. So back getting back to it. Yeah, this Brian Chrisagis guy, he calls me out on this makeup, and I don't know what to say. Um, I'm just wanting to get out of there. I don't want to get into a big like debate on religion and all the things, and I I have to be in the right mood for that shit. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not, and it's not that I don't know my reasoning for things or why this dude is wrong about a lot of shit, because he is. But it's just like I don't have the mental fortitude to stand here and talk to this guy, uh, and I'm also like afraid I'm not going to be able to keep my cool in those situations, and I'm going to come across the wrong way because I will have this likelihood to just like it's probably going to trigger me and make me think about the church people I grew up with because they're so close to that kind of person to begin with that I'm worried about just giving him the fuck yous and getting the fuck out of there, and causing a bunch of embarrassment and stuff and not being able to fucking ever get baked goods there again. um, so I don't know. There's all of that shit going on in my mind. And I'm just quietly kind of just standing there fucking laughing to myself. Like, if this dude only fucking knew that I was doing all these sacrilegious things, the big scary Satanism things and stuff that was directly going against his God and religion, like he would not be asking about my makeup and stuff. But like, this was the blissful ignorance that they love so much. Um, this is the faith based thinking that they love so much. This is the simplicity thing that they love so much. It never occurred to him that I was anything outside of his religion, even though they know that there are people outside of their religion because that's what they're evangelicals. They want to go out and win people to the Lord. But they also know they're in the majority deep down inside. But then they fearmonger over atheists and Satanists taking over. It's this back and forth, like, strong man, weak man fucking shit that, like, Trump just goes down the line of doing himself constantly. And this is the wild part of it, is, like, after that interaction and stuff, okay, I've had him come up in my feed and stuff before, just recently. It's been coming up more, so I've been interacting a little bit more, and, like, I am just generally curious, and I also want to, like, poke at this stuff a little bit, because this dude is, like, questioning his own base over things. Brian Chrisagis is at this point. His brother died, I think from, like, cancer or something. Like, I know he battled a health issue, I think, for a good while before he passed away. And, condolences on that, that side of things. But you both of them have some really shitty beliefs and harmful beliefs and everything, regardless of whether that dude's still alive or not. He has called out things like on, and this is like they still have the brothers page thing up, but give Stryker a vote. See, this is the dumb shit. Stryker's Island, Three's Company. It is like all of this outdated horse shit that just like, and they're all AI images that he's posted up, and he has people voting on this. America's favorite pet. I don't know. Look at this shit. Finish the race. Let no man take your crown. He brings up all these Bible verses and shit. Here's Dolly Parton, for fuck's sake. And he acts like he's a little bit more liberal, but not nearly as much as what Dolly Parton is, because he fucking will, I'm sure he talks shit on trans people and everything. Thinks that that's satanic shit. Here we go. Satan's target is our mind, and his weapon is lies. So fill your mind with God's word, which is filled with the truth. Which God? Why is that God true? Why are the other ones not? Like, literally, you've chosen one more God to believe in than what an atheist does. It's, crazy. And you got these fucking idiots just egging it on. it's like a big fucking, just a big fucking, here's the, dude, here we go, Jelly Roll. I just watched some disturbing video and audio of Jelly Roll. I'm not gonna judge him in any way, but this is a wake up for us who make these people into role models as soon as they say they love Jesus or stand for what we believe is true. So, oh my god, let me just read the rest. I bragged on Jelly Roll, then I saw his wife, and had lots of questions. Today, Jelly Roll has many accusations being thrown around. He mentioned Epstein in a recent video that he didn't know was being recorded. We need to stop putting anyone up as idols. As soon as we do that, God will unmask them. A tree can't bear both good and bad fruit, and a person cannot. Oh my god, I can't make it through this. I can't make it through this without, like, okay, here's the problem, Brian. The problem isn't Jelly Roll. The problem isn't any of these fucking people. The problem is you Christians. And it isn't, it's your religion. It's the religion itself. It is not the people itself. It is the religion itself that is flawed. And I've tried to call him out on this and tell him, and I would love to have you on this podcast, Brian, if you could ever watch this. Like, I think I want to share this with him and see if he'll come on. I would love to have a conversation with him. Because this shit is just insane to me. This is where my mindset was at one point. And it's just like, I don't get how he can, because I never, like, okay, my mindset wasn't quite to this point. He is more liberal than what my mindset was whenever I was in the same religion as him and under the same influence and ideas. So I don't understand how he comes to more liberal ideology while pushing this platform. It is so contradictory. It's crazy. But that's exactly what he does. So Jelly Roll has done this. Snoop Dogg's doing it. Fucking Nicki Minaj. All these people, all these celebrities are, as soon as they, what seems to be connecting a lot of these, and I would not be surprised. I haven't paid attention to news about Jelly Roll. This is more recent than what I have read anything about him, because I've just kind of ignored that shit, admittedly. Other than, like, I knew he came out as Christian and all that. But here's the thing, like, as soon as I hear that Jelly Roll comes out as Christian, or Kid Rock, or that Kid Rock's supporting Trump now, or that Nicki Minaj is, or that this person or that person, and they're a celebrity and they're suddenly clinging towards Jesus and all of these things that their music didn't reflect for years and their personality didn't reflect for years, but now it's a platform, now it's a main platform, and now suddenly they're flocking towards it. And dude, I don't know that every time I hear that a celebrity has come out as Christian now, that they've changed their ways, I don't think in my mind that they have converted to Christianity. I don't think that any time that I was an evangelical that I ever actually led people to the Lord that weren't already brainwashed into the religion to begin with in some way or shape or form. I don't believe those things happen. I believe a lot of our indoctrination was indoctrinating ourselves, learning that a lot of the evangelicism of going out and preaching the word and everything, the gospel, was to keep us in it. That's what it did mostly. But this shit, it's just kind of like, dude, you do not see the game being played. You have groups of bigots and pedophiles flocking to your religion to escape accountability, because your whole religion is based on escaping accountability. Because what happens whenever a person sins, no matter what the sin is, no matter what the bad thing is, or what your your book that's based on bullshit, that your authors that can't be verified, all the shit that can't be verified. Your bullshit book says that, okay, uh oh my god. This is just nonsense. Anytime these people come out, I assume that they've had some sexual allegation thing that's going to come out soon after. And almost every fucking time that is what happens. Almost every fucking time I've seen it, and the times that it hasn't happened, it's because it just didn't happen right away. Like, and they are hiding something. Like, as soon as they cling to religion, they are hiding something. And I think Joe Rogan's hiding something. I think it's no coincidence that Joe Rogan's flopped. I don't think it's any coincidence that Nicki Minaj flopped. I don't think it's any coincidence that Jelly Roll did. Like, all of these people have some kind of scummy fucking ties, and they know that there is no better way to cover shit up than to do it under a religion, because they forgive everybody. And as long as that's who's in charge of the country, they can get their family forgiven for shit. They can get pardoned for things they did. It's fine. And that's what this moron is endorsing without knowing it. Like, Brian, what the fuck? It's not a Jelly Roll thing. It doesn't matter. Yeah, accusations being thrown around about Jelly Roll. Mentioning Epstein, do you really need him to mention Epstein to figure out that every fucking time one of these people flocks to your religion, that they're doing so out of, like, protecting themselves from being held accountable by law or others? It's so that people will say, oh, well, that's a Christian. He wouldn't do that. Oh, no, that's all behind him now. It's an insane way of just covering up horrible shit. And if you think that isn't what your religion's all about, then I would ask you to reanalyze your religion and maybe question it just a tiny bit, because you have a bloodthirsty God in the Old Testament wanting bloodshed from innocent animals in order for forgiveness to happen, which is insane. Like, if you weren't fully brainwashed into this religion from the start, hearing that there is some super invisible being out there that can't be seen or heard or anything else, but once upon a time he wanted everyone to do the things that he wanted them to do, but he could have created them just to do those things and could have created no bad things. But he didn't want to do that. He wanted to create people and then have them follow laws he knew they wouldn't follow, and then wanted them to kill animals when they didn't follow laws. So it sounds an awful lot like he just wanted animals to die every time he wanted them to beg for mercy so that he didn't send them to a fucking pit of fire for eternity. How is that a good start to a intro to a religion? But that's like all in Genesis. That's the first book. It's, yeah. So you've got that in the Old Testament, and then you got people say, oh, well, that's the Old Testament. We're under the new law, which is Jesus. And then it's like, okay, what part does Jesus play in this new law? Oh, he's the innocent being that didn't do anything wrong that's getting murdered because your God still wants blood to be shed in order to forgive you. That's not any better. You didn't make the religion any better. You made it worse. Yeah. So that's perfectly normal to these people, that they're in a blood cult, that they needed a blood ritual to be performed in order to be forgiven by this all-loving God that just so happens to want to burn them for eternity if they don't want forgiven for things. And it's not even just forgiveness for the things you did. It's like, dude, this is the other fucking, it's constant contradictions with them, right? Because the same crowds of people, they will go and say, like, these white Christian conservatives will go out saying, what, well, you know, that wasn't, that wasn't me that enslaved people. Why do I need to pay for these things or whatever the fuck? And then it's like, at that same time, it's like, okay, that wasn't Jesus that did all those sins. Why did he have to die for your shit? Why can't you just be held accountable for the dumb shit you did? And not only that, it's the old sin nature that's being held accountable. But, you know, that's not what's happening, right? Because if you just, all you have to do is just believe that Jesus died for your sins in order to be saved from all the shitty things that you did and all the shitty things before you that you didn't do, but all because you, it's all the same blood or whatever the fuck dumb shit that the sin nature and all of those things, then okay. Why, at what point does this ever touch reality? That an all-powerful, all-knowing being, why would it be necessary for them to have to kill something to forgive you that had nothing to do with what you did wrong? Or even didn't do wrong. Like, it's just the old sin nature thing, right? Because everybody is guilty because of that. Because Adam and Eve, that he also, you know, just so happened to create and put in an environment that he decided and made them do. Like, that shit's dumb too. How are you an all-knowing, all-powerful, all these things being, and then, dude, if you're all of those things and you set up a premise for your children to go and do this and you know that you're going to burn them for eternity if they do the wrong thing, and you set them up to do the wrong thing knowing they're going to do the wrong thing that you don't want them to do, you are just playing games and you just really want to torture people is all that is. That's a shitty God. That's like a really shitty God. So yeah, like you've got that fucked up premise to begin with that your whole religion's about. That, you know, how are you aren't being held accountable for the shit you did. You aren't even really being held accountable for the other shit that other people did, the old sin nature shit that you're saying that's not accountability. When you have somebody else take care of your shit and then you brag about it. And that's their whole religion, is just Jesus died so we didn't have to hold ourselves accountable for the fucked up shit we're doing. And you don't think that every fucked up individual isn't going to pretend to be part of your religion when they do fucked up things now? You've set up the perfect environment for them. The perfect scapegoat. Oh, that was the devil that made me do that before. I'm a different person now. You've set up the perfect rhetoric for them, for horrible people. And, dude, it doesn't matter at this point if you're a left-leaning liberal Christian or a conservative Christian or whatever the fuck. If you are a part of this religion at this point and you have seen all of these people using your religion as that tool, why are you part of something, a tool that is so flawed that you can hide and harbor horrible people? And then the accountability can just be taken away because it can just be, you can just call it evil. And you can blame it on the devil. And you can say they needed God, even though they went to your fucking religion to begin with, to find God, right? Oh, well, that's just a fake Christian. That's not a real Christian. There are how many different denominations of Christianity? Thousands? At least hundreds. Maybe hundreds of thousands. Which one's the true Christian? You can't just... That's, you know? You're all fucking Christians. You just chose a different version of it, and it's not that different of a version. You've still got the same issue that I just addressed that you have. You've got a nonsensical fucking start with all of it. I'm not saying Jelly Roll hasn't changed, but if the video is real, we need to be wise. We also need to only have one that we trust. All others will fail. Oh, you mean you're 3-in-1? Yeah. Well, you know, you've got a president that is just as narcissistic as your god. You can't act all surprised when people start clinging to that shit. And this fucking moron can't even tell the difference between... Dude, I don't know what is wrong with this guy. He is literally just made out of fucking, like, Aquanet and fucking AI. I swear I have seen these same poses on fucking Playgirl magazines. Maybe possibly Playboy magazines too. Same feathered hair and everything. I don't know. I find that insane too, the more and more that they try to cling towards like this idea of manhood and manliness and all their whole milk fucking drinking dumb bigoted nonsense that ties into it too. Like I don't... The more they try to do all that shit, the gayer they look. And yet they're like these big time fucking homophobes and transphobes and shit. Even the way, like, dude, not that, like, not that that doesn't even look like, not that that would even be a bad thing. It's just his whole fucking appearance. It's just fucking crazy. I mean, this is public info. I don't think I'm, like, doxing anybody or anything by sharing this, and I doubt anybody's even, there's not even enough people watching this to care. But, oh my god, if you ever want to just, like, go have fun trolling a Christian, this would be the one. Or one of the ones. All that shit gets boring after a while, though. I wouldn't recommend trolling anybody. It's just dumb. It doesn't do anything. As I troll him. I mean, in this case, we're having together time, me and you. Um, all of you non-people. It's just, it's insane how out of touch. And I never realized either just how stuck in the past all of these fucking people are, that the hairdos are like out of the fucking 80s. And they just keep the same hairdos. And this dude wasn't even, like, he might be my age or a little bit, like, he wasn't even around in the fucking 80s, I don't think, to do this shit. Maybe briefly? But he looks like straight out of a fucking... one of the 80s gospel fucking, live things, events they'd have on TV constantly, or on the different, like the what was the one? Oh my God, the brother, I can't think of the name. They weren't real brothers, but they called themselves the something brothers, and they crossed over into like pop culture and shit too, I think. Oh my God. Curious what tools do you use to make this? Hey, sweetie, I have two different ones. Dude, I ain't heard anybody other than yeah. Just the way he talks. I can't even. Um, gives out his AI fucking things that like yeah, I just speak into what I want and it comes about. Uh, yeah, yeah, you do, and you just ignore all of the shit that's tied to it. Okay, so here's my deal on. I'm gonna shut out of this for a minute, and 'cause that's about all I can take of. Yeah, the Chrisagis brother legacy. Um, but anyway, uh, I've found that just amusing, and I found another. There's been a few people locally like that. That's just it's amazing, and no matter what the fuck you say to him, he's even admitted to like I told him, your whole problem is a faith-based ideology that you can't base your premise of things off of faith because everybody can do that. And you can have opposing views to somebody else, and that's exactly what he's running into is that he might not have as the bigoted views that that person over there that's a Christian does, but they are using the same flawed tool, faith, to come to this opposite decisions about that thing. So who's right and who's wrong? You can't tell based off of just faith because each person is just telling themselves that they're right. That's all that faith is. That's it. In the religious context, that's all it is. So, yeah, there's that. Um, and I've lost my train of thought again. I think I'm going to toke up, uh, collect my thoughts, and I'll be back. And we're back. Or I'm back. Well, doesn't look like I'm going to get to test the live chat thing and all of that like I wanted to. I guess I could write something in there and see if it shows up. Smiley face. And give a weird YouTube laughing thing. Blue face. Is that gonna show up? Didn't even show up. Well, I got something fucked up on it then, I think. Huh. Maybe I have to go live with widget? Yeah. Huh. Well, I don't know. I might have to look into that more. Move my message. Hmm. I guess the newest news that I saw about Trump too has been I forgot to mention it was Trumpland. Or sorry, Greenland. Why would I call it Trumpland? Um, apparently he's sending a hospital boat to Greenland as a sort of um, peace, like a olive branch. Even though like they have, you know, universal health care there and they don't need, so they've just kind of said like, no thank you, we don't need that. Why would we need that? Maybe you could talk to us instead of your dumb social media rants that you do, which I thought was kind of funny. It's almost like word for word what they said. Not, I mean, it's not, there's not that much embellishment on any of that. Like, they're just kind of like, thanks, but no thanks. We've got the healthcare thing and under control, and we don't understand why you'd offer that instead of just talking to us. Oh, this is the fucking country we're in. Oh, could fuck around and test out some gaming, maybe. Hey, how's it going, Nicole? I'm trying to like go back to some of this. Thanks. I'm having a rough go at it lately. Health issues and shit. Um, trying to make it back to podcasting and live streaming where I can. Right now, I'm trying to get the live uh, feed chat thing to show up, and I'm using like OBS and Streamlabs and trying to combine the two, and I don't think it's working out too well. But I'm doing pretty well. I've got a 9-month-old now, and um, two toddlers and 10-year-old. Let's see. The Skeptical Satanist YouTube token has expired. Okay, so maybe this is the issue. Maybe I need to link up in Streamlabs. I just don't know if... I don't know. Sorry, talking about nerdy shit now. Kind of hoping somebody would join in that's familiar with all of this stuff and a fellow podcaster and everything that could help with the stream lab issues I'm having now. Oh, I don't have the Streamlabs plugin, maybe, installed, possibly. You can import from OBS and go live in 60 seconds. Huh. Been a real long time. Streamlabs, I'm just like, there's different options for streaming, and I'm using OBS, but there's also Streamlabs, and I guess you can use both of them together. Streamlabs is supposed to have, they have like widgets, overlays and stuff that I can add to this. So like OBS is doing, like, I'm able to do all of this stuff, the Cash App thing up here and my graphics, and I'm able to control all of this different stuff, turn it on and off in real time. I'm doing that through OBS right now. And there's all kinds of stuff that goes along with that that I'm not privy to, but I'm dipping my toes in the water with all of this because there's like the different options I used to have for live streams was like StreamYard and stuff like that, and now they're all subscription based, and I'm having issues. They're taking away things that you could do before, and now they're requiring you to have some kind of subscription to be able to do it. And it's just not worth it to me. I'd rather learn something new about OBS and Streamlabs and stuff instead, and do it this way. But Streamlabs is like supposed to have these widgets that can be put up on OBS. And I've got one up right now all the way to the right hand of the stream, that way. But the live chat is not showing up. Yeah, I used to be able to do StreamYard. I used to be able to do my intro and outro and all kinds of stuff, and now that you just can't do shit without having a subscription. Everything is subscription based. That's the new fad in the corporate world, it seems, which sucks. Maybe I need to like enable things. There's a plugin manager. I might need to enable some plugins or add some to my OBS thing, is what it's looking like, in order to get that to work right. But ideally, whenever I get all this set up correctly, I should be able to have people join me in Discord. I've got something set up for like a podcast. Let's see. I don't. It won't show up. Let me see. I can show people what I'm talking about, maybe. Um. Well, maybe I can't right now. But regardless, it's got like I've got different scenes and things that I can put up, and I've got one set up for that'll just quickly switch over to me with another person. So I'll have like in the Discord, I'll have a live room that I can bring people into, and whenever our screens are side by side, it'll pull in the one screen, and it'll pull in my live recording off of my webcam and everything, and it'll put us together the way that I have it set up, so that we'll be able to have a side by side thing, conversation and stuff. I'm the first person to come up on your YouTube? Well, that's funny. I am the last person to come up on people's Facebook now. Like, I can't even live stream on Facebook because I've been banned over dumb shit. I went into that earlier that I was talking about. Like, Facebook has banned me from doing live streams or even being able to monetize stuff on my main profile now because of memes that it's like brought up from years and years and years ago. That was like, one of them is a showing like a traditional Jewish what is it, brisk or whatever, where they're the rabbi is biting off yeah, the doing a foreskin, and they, which is like, it's not depicting it. It didn't show it completely. Like, it wasn't showing that, but it was you could tell what the fucking thing was getting at. But and it didn't even show, like, it didn't show any nudity or anything like that, and everything was angled where it wasn't even showing anything. And it's like Facebook's AI bullshit and their algorithm things that they've set up for all of their patrolling or whatever of the site brought that up as like pedophilia, and it made it to where my fucking so they don't have an option to like reject that notion, and I didn't care if they took the post down. Like, that wasn't the issue, was the post. Like, okay, fuck you, you didn't get it, take the post down, but don't like label it as that thing and then ban me from doing shit. Like, that's the part I want to fight, not putting it back up. I don't care. That's been like 6 fucking years ago I posted that meme, though. And they're going back 6 years ago and taking shit down that I didn't even fucking remember I'd posted. Like, it took me a while to even figure out what the fuck they were talking about, because they wouldn't show... It doesn't show the picture now. Like, it just says that it was, yeah, child stuff. That it was not. Definitely was not. They did it with that. They've done it with, there was like a meme that had a BDSM thing on it or something, and they took that down saying there was nudity, and it was just a real high cut something on it wasn't nudity. And then the most recent one has been over Kid Rock, a post that I made about him saying that he looks like Crystal Meth. If Crystal Meth had a brother, it would be Kid Rock. So now I'm not allowed to live stream. But yeah, looks like I'm gonna have to fuck around with this chat overlay stuff some more, and maybe I'll get on later or tomorrow or something and fuck around with it more. But alright, I think that does it for this one, and I will catch you guys all on another time. Hail Satan, hail yourselves, and I think I'm out.